Hello friends, in this session we are going to touch base on another very important topic for Groovy scripting, and that is using list in your Groovy script. So let us start and see how we can use list in our Groovy scripts. So to add list, what we are going to do is again go to assertions, or either you can go to assertion, or when you right click on your test step and you can say add step, here you have option of Groovy scripting. So you can create any Groovy script here. So I'm going to use this panel for writing regarding lists. So what is a list? So list is nothing but just a collection of some data. Okay, so like when you have a list of suppose fruits, so you have apple, orange, strawberry, okay, and bananas. So this is a list. All the fruits is a list of fruits here. Then if you have suppose students, many students in your college, so there will be a list of students, and in that list you can store suppose names of all the students. So again this will become the list. Or you can also store the scores of students, so you can say list of scores, and here you can have the scores of all the students like 10, 20, 30 and 40. So this is a list of scores of all the students who are there in your college. So in this way different type of lists can be created. The size of the list also is not restricted to 4 elements. You can have many elements in that particular list. Okay, so we are going to just take example of one such list which we can create. So first of all, what we are going to do is you can just create any list, and you can give any name to this particular list, and I'm just taking it as list equal to, and here you can give some elements like I'm giving 17 minus 2, 44, 11, anything, any random data is what I'm storing here. So you can think of it as list of marks. Okay, so these are list of marks. Okay, so now if I have to access any particular element of this particular list, or if I want to fetch the information of one particular point, so how I can do that is using the position of the elements in the list. So 17 is one element, minus 2 is one element, 44 is another element. All these are elements in your list. So if I have to access any data which is there in the list, I don't want to see the whole list, I want to fetch a particular data. So how I can do that? Using the position of the elements in this list. So what I mean by the position is that suppose there are 5 elements in this particular list, so it is going to start from 0. List always starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the list size is 5, but and the last position is 4th because it is starting from 0. So if I say that I want the element on the 0th position, that will be 17, and if I want the element on the 4th position, then it is going to be 0. Okay, and in the same way I can access any element in between the list also. So let us see how we can do that. There are two ways to do that. Let us see them. So first I am just defining any element, like I'm just taking any variable a which I will be using to store the elements. So I'm just keeping as a equal to list of marks, and in square brackets I'm giving 0. So 0 means that in a I want to store the element which is 17 here. Okay, now how do I know whether it has been stored correctly or not? I will have to just run it, log.info, and I will be putting in quotes some message. First element of my list is, and in this I can either put a, this is one way, or I can directly put list of marks 0. Both will work in the same manner. So let us see them one by one. So suppose I am using a. So a is a variable which is storing the first element from the list. Because why first? Because we have given the position here as 0. So position has been given as 0, which is showing that this is the first element of the list which is getting stored in the variable. So let me run it, and you can see here first element of my list is 17. First element of my list is, this has been fetched from this list which I have provided. Now another way in which I can do it, I can directly use this position from the list and run it. In that case also I have got the same result. So in both the cases the result is going to be the same, only these steps are going to be extra if you want to use a variable. If you don't want to use a variable and you directly want to access the element from the list, that also you can do. Okay, so this is one thing about the list. You can access the first element also, or the second element as well. So what I can do is I can create another variable, and I can just put here list of marks 1, and here we are just printing second element of my list. So when it comes to second element, I am going to go for the position 1. So let us see what it is printing. -2 is getting printed, or if I want to use the variable, then that also can be done in the same way. So both these lines are getting printed for the first element and the second element. Both the information is on the output screen. Now if I want to see another element, so let us define another variable c, and c is equal to list of marks, and I'm giving here 5. So if you remember, when I just wrote here that the positions are going to be till 4, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's starting from 0. So what will happen if we try to access 5 or the fifth element from the list? So let us see what we are going to get in this case. So you can see here we have got a null. Why null? Because there is nothing on the fifth position. Although the elements are 5, but there is nothing on the fifth position because our positions are starting from 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last element is placed at 4th position. So that is why we don't have anything on the fifth position, and that is why we have got a null here, which is showing that there is no element beyond 4th element. So if you try to access any such element, there is no value stored there, and that is why we have got a null value. Okay, so in that case what you can do is you can just find out the size of your list and see that what is the output of this. So log.info size of my list is, and in order to find the size, what we are going to do, we are going to take the name of the list which we have defined at the top. So list of marks dot size. So dot size means it's going to tell me that what is the size of my list. So let us run it. The size of your list is 5, so that means you can access the position till size of the list minus 1. Till that point only you will be able to see the elements, not beyond that. So you have to keep in mind that size of list minus 1, this is the point till which you will be able to access the elements in your list. So this is the formula which you can remember. The name of the list will obviously change. This is just the size of the list which is going to be random based on whatever size is there of the list minus 1. So this is the formula which you can use if you ever get confused that till what element it is going to show the output and not show the null values. Okay, so in this way you can access different elements from any list and use it in your whenever you want to use in your script. So I hope the concept of list is now clear to everyone. Thank you for joining.